Hello everyone, it's Rose, and today I'm doing a how-to video. So last February, I cannot believe it's been almost a year, but on February 26th of last year, my patron, Glada Ruth Key, asked me to do a video of painting a border. So doing a diamond painting, finishing it off by painting a border. And I made a note to do that and promptly lost the note and came across it recently when I was doing some cleanup. So Glada Ruth, I'm doing it today. And I am also going to use some masking tape that I bought at Michael's, probably over a year ago, to just do a little matte on another small diamond painting. So I'm using throwaway paintings for this because I haven't actually tried it. So you're going to see me do it for the first time. So you can learn from my mistakes because I think that's important. Better that I make mistakes than you do. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, everybody. So now you're just going to see my disembodied hands while we do the rest of this. So I have chosen the two items that I'm going to experiment with. So the first is the ubiquitous Blue Owl, which I challenged all of my viewers to get a copy of this in a sticker, in a partial, in a full square, in a round drill, in a special shape drill, you name it, any size. I have it in a tiny little size, which is why I don't mind wrecking it. Because, like I say, I'm trying this for the first time, so I don't know if it's going to work. And the other one that I have is the small version of the beach villas, which I finished some time ago. This is a square drill diamond painting, which turned out so much better than I ever could have expected. But I also have it in a 50 by 40 now because I want to be able to compare the two sizes when the other one's done. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. So what else do I have? I have my handy dandy ruler. Gotta have that. I have my handy dandy scissors. Gotta have those. I have some foam pens, oh my God, what do you call these things? Brushes, foam brushes that I got for $1.25 at the Canadian dollar store. That would be like $1 in the States. I have my Fiskars Rotary cutter in case I have to trim the edges on any of this. And it also, like, this is super sharp. So when you store it, make sure you don't have it with the blade out because that will cut you, my friends. You can get these on Amazon or Michael's or any craft store. I'll include links to everything that I'm using down below. I also bought this cheap acrylic paint, white acrylic. This was, again, done when I was in Michael's, oh my goodness, before the pandemic, because I haven't been back in a Michael's since the pandemic. And I must have spent half an hour trying to decide what color to buy and what kind of paint and everything. And then I decided I'm just going to try it. So I'm just going to buy like white and the cheapest paint available. If I like the way this turns out, then I can get fancy. And one of my viewers sent me a recommendation for a good quality paint to do edging with. So I will buy that once I get good at this stuff, and I will use it for other framing jobs. Okay, and I don't have any frames here because I don't actually know if this video is going to become a framing video yet. I haven't planned it out. For those of you who think I plan absolutely everything out, sometimes I get carried away. We'll see if I get carried away today. I doubt it, but we'll see. Okay, so what else do I have? Oh yeah, I have two lids here. So I just keep lids from pickles. And this was, I don't know, peanut butter or something like that. And that's what I pour my stuff into. So I'll probably keep this one for my polyurethane, the clear polyurethane, so that I can dip my brush in there. And this I'll use for the paint, because what the heck? Okay, so I think that's everything. Oh, and of course, I have my coffee. Oh, I forgot one thing. So the other thing I have is a cutting mat. So this is important because I don't want to scratch my counter if I have to use the Fiskars, the Rotary cutter. So it's a self-healing cutting mat. I love this thing. I bought it for a different purpose than I'm using it, but I love it. And finally, I have just a piece of cardboard so that when I'm painting edges, I'll have something and I won't ruin my counter or my my cutting mat. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is choose which color of this tape. So I bought this tape, like I say, at Michael's, and it comes with 8 rolls inside in various different colors. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. I could probably use that to, frame or mat anyway. I would like to put these in a frame eventually to frame around a diamond painting. And so I'm going to have to choose which color to frame it with. And I think what I'm going to do is, I might paint. Yeah, I'll use the paint on the Blue Owl, and I'll use the tape on the beach villas. All right, let's get started. So we'll set aside that. Now, the first thing I do want to do is make sure I've got an even, an edge that's the same width all the way around the diamond painting. And you guys know that this is not always cut straight, and you can tell here, it is not cut straight. Now, one of the other things that I like to do is to take a picture of my legend, so that in a worst case scenario, if I lose a drill off the diamond painting, I will have the legend and I can go to my stash and find the drill that's missing. So I will take a picture before I start cutting this off. All right. And I might have to do two layers of paint, simply because of the print that's on the canvas. And I don't know what quality this paint is. I'm telling you right now, I have never painted anything in my entire life. Well, not since like grade 10 high school art class. So I am a total novice at this, and I'm not doing this to show you expert technique, because that would not be me for this. I am doing this to show you that anybody can try something and it might work out. I actually don't know if it's going to work out or not. I'm just fingers. Oh, you see, and now my pen is leaking, so I have to get some Kleenex to clean that up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take a picture of this and of the legend so that I've got it, and then I will be right back. Okay, so let's start cutting. Now, one thing I am going to do, I forgot this. I have some regular masking tape here. So I'm just going to lay a little bit of masking tape down to hold my diamond painting in place. 1.5 centimeters. There it is. Okay. So I'm just going to lay this down, tape it down, so that when I'm, cutting with the Fiskars, the rotary cutter, I don't know why I always call it a Fiskars. Fiskars is the brand. It won't be sliding around all over the place. Okay. And I don't know if I have to do that or not, but I'm going to do it. So I'm ready to start cutting. So to use one of these, for those of you who have never used one, I had never used one of these before I started diamond painting. So I'm not going to assume that anybody has any knowledge of this stuff. I had never done any craft before I started diamond painting. So, you know, in so many ways, like I kind of get a kick out of the people who say, oh, you know so much, because I knew nothing about anything to do with making pretty things before I started this channel of diamond painting. Okay, so I'm going to try really hard now. Whoop. Okay, my ruler is moving. So I'm going to try really hard to keep a nice straight line here. Whoop. It's not going to cut the steel, that's for sure. And what oops, that's not working either. My ruler keeps moving. So, you know what? Maybe I'll take my ruler down too. Because why not? See what I mean? I mean, I didn't test any of this stuff out before. It's just a case of, let's see if we can do it. Let's see what works. All right, so I'm pressing really hard because I do know from cutting other canvases in the past that it's hard to cut a diamond painting sometimes. Okay, so I've got that strip, and I think I need just to shave a little tiny bit more off because I didn't actually hit the lines there. So again, I always try to cut one, like I want to make sure that if I'm going to if there's a chance that I might have to cut twice, that the first cut will leave me something to cut a second time. All right, so here we go. There we go. That's nice. That's nice. There. Okay. So just a little sliver didn't come off completely. Oh, and the other nice thing about having everything taped down is that if your cut is not a perfect cut, if your cut is not a perfect cut, you can just lay the ruler back down. Okay. So there we go. That's my second cut. And I kind of made a goof here. So, you know, talk about not perfect. It's not perfect. But nothing is perfect. So what I'm going to do is just advance this a tiny little bit more. And I want to make sure that this is lying completely flat here. So I'm going to go with a smaller edge than I had originally planned. I'm going to go with a 2 centimeter edge, which is not really that much, but that's okay. And what I was doing here was just making sure that the thing is lying straight, because now I can line my ruler up at the 2 centimeters that I want here and try that cut again. And there we go. Looks good so far. There. Okay, perfect. So now I have a 2 centimeter edge going that way. I am going to adjust my diamond painting. And I don't know if you guys have figured this out about me yet, but I like to reuse everything that I possibly can. So, now I know that this is well, let's see. There we go. So I just want to make sure that that's 2 centimeters. And I reuse everything I possibly can, so I'm going to reuse my masking tape too. I am kind of a bear about, except I have to move that up. Hold on. because from the edge of my ruler, I want 2 centimeters. So there, it's lined up so that there will be exactly 2 centimeters from the edge of my ruler. And let's make another cut. Perfect. Okay. Didn't have to cut too much off there. So now I'll just move this. And again, where's that 2 centimeter? There we go. So I haven't actually used these cutting mats too much in the past, which is why I didn't think to use the markings on the mat to begin with to do my measuring. Okay, so now I know that, that this is 2 centimeters, but let's test it just to be sure. I had a grand idea at one point that I was going to use metal rulers and stick magnets to them, and then I'd be able to have, you know, metal stuff stuck to my metal rulers with these magnets. That never happened. So I've got all these extra rulers. So yeah, that'll be 2 centimeters. Well, I'm just going to move it a tad. Let me make sure that these 2 sides are exactly 2 centimeters. Because if they're not exactly 2 centimeters, yeah, that's 2 centimeters. And that is exactly 2 centimeters. So yes, I do want this to be exactly 2 centimeters. And it's about a millimeter more than 2 centimeters. So I just want to move that down a tiny, tiny smidge. There. And this tape is starting not to be all that sticky anymore. Let's just, again, measure twice, cut once, as carpenters like to say. Okay, so there's 2 centimeters going across now. And voila. Okay, nice cut, nice cut. And finally, we just have one more cut to make, and that is at the top. So we'll just move this around, and let me just make sure that I've got it at exactly 2 centimeters. Yeah, that's 2 centimeters, but that's crooked. So let's make sure it's 2 centimeters on both sides. I hope I'm not mumbling. Sometimes I mumble, I know that. I'm sorry, I will try to speak up since I'm talking down. Okay, so that's exactly what I want. Okay, so this is a day of firsts for me because I've never done like a painted mat before. I've never used acrylic paint like this before. I've never used a foam brush to paint before. I've used it for polyurethane and learned my lesson there. Which you can also learn my lesson if you go and watch the video. It's in my ceiling and framing playlist if you just want to do a quick search for that. Okay, so there we go. So now I've got 2 centimeters all the way around. Don't need this tape anymore. Okay, now, what I'm going to do now is I want to protect the drills. So I'm going to just very lightly apply masking tape. I'm not going to press it down or anything like that because all I want is just to have a nice line of masking tape so that I don't end up getting paint on top of my drills. Okay, there we go. scissors. There. And I'm just attaching the tape to the canvas on the other sides. I'm not pressing it down at all there. Coffee. Okay, so I've never used this before. I always read directions. Even if I've used something before, I still read directions to make sure that I haven't forgotten or mixed up instructions, because it's happened. So use this value priced, wow, they're calling themselves cheap, matte finish acrylic to paint general craft and home decor projects. Directions: shake well, apply with a brush or sponge. It's water-based, permanent, fast drying, intermixable, soap and water cleanup for additional product information and products. Okay, so I'm just gonna shake, and I'm gonna shake for probably about, I don't know, 30 seconds, because this has been sitting in a drawer for, like I say, probably a good year, because I know it was before the pandemic, but I don't remember how long before the pandemic. So, okay, I'll skip ahead to the end of the 30 seconds. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so let's move some of the stuff that I don't need out of the way. I'm gonna need that second ruler, so it's not gonna go too far. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'll just do this. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just pour a little bit. Well, first I'm gonna get my brushes ready. Well, my brush. Okay. So I have no idea. Like, this feels kind of liquidy, so I might need 3 coats. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And so I don't want to put too much in there. So it's like maybe half a teaspoon that I've put in there. And so I'm just going to make sure my brush has soaked up. Oh, I'm definitely going to need more paint. All right. So here we go. And this also is covering up the glue at the edge of the diamond painting. Okay, the coverage is pretty good. Maybe only 2 after all. Now, I can see brush strokes. So probably those of you who do this sort of thing all the time have all kinds of techniques that you could teach me for how to smooth out brush strokes. But I don't know them. Okay, so, and I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm just now going to go straight up and down, so that if there are brush strokes, they'll all be in one direction. Yeah, definitely will need another coat of paint on there. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. Well, first I'm going to paint. All right, so now I'm ready to paint the other side. So once more, I'm going to very lightly apply the masking tape, just so that I've got a nice straight line. To first off, to be a guide, and second off, to protect the tops of my drill. Okay, I took the time while Pippi was having a little barking moment there to just cut my cardboard because it was too big and it was getting in my way and I didn't like it. Okay, so let's, oh, and since this has been sitting for a little while, I have no idea, you know, how soon it starts settling. or separating or whatever happens to acrylic paint. I don't know. It was my ex-husband and my daughter who are the artists. So I'm just shaking it again before I use it. All right. And again, just to get into the edges of the diamonds, I am using the brush and brushing outwards from the edge of the diamonds. Whoops. Okay, I'm not being as careful as I should be, or I haven't applied the tape as far out as I should have. Okay, so now I think I need a little bit more paint. This is fun. I mean, I'm kind of nervous because if this is a total mess, I'm going to be embarrassed to, you know, to be showing you, but it's fun. All right, so again, I'm just using the edge of the drills. Oops, that's too thick. The edge of the drills and the masking tape as my guide as I apply the second coat here. And, whoops, yeah, definitely will need 2 coats. There we go. One nice smooth line. Okay, good. So I'm going to let that part dry for now. Am I? We'll see. Okay, one diamond came off. There. Okay. Let's just... There we go. Because I'm going to do the top and the bottom now. So I just want to make sure that my masking tape is not hanging over the edge of the drill area. And I'm being very careful not to touch the painted areas. There we go. Yeah, that's good. And so I just have one more here. So I would suggest, if I were doing this again for the first time, that I would make sure I did this cutting of the edges first, because working with the wet paint, probably not the most brilliant crafter thing to do. Okay. So I want a nice straight edge on the masking tape because I'm only going to take it right to the edge of those drills there. Oops, and my masking tape is splitting here. It's cheap masking tape. Is there any other kind? And that's not really a good straight line there, so let's try again. There. This is really not great masking tape. But I don't need great masking tape. I just need masking tape that's going to do the job I need it for. That's all. All right, so I'm going to do the bottom part first, which means I have to turn the tape this way because the raggedy edges are on the top. There we have it. Okay. And now I am going to cut this. There. I think that's good. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing all over again. I just want to make sure that that's a straight edge. Yeah, I think that's pretty straight. Okay. Oops. Oh well, that tape. Plus, this masking tape is years old. Like, I don't even know how many years old it is. So maybe it's seen better days. And it looks like I need to buy more masking tape because my roll is getting pretty thin. All right. Oops. There we go. So I haven't touched the edge at all. So now, oops, here we go again. And so I'm not doing what I did the first time, which is brushing out first. All right. We'll see if that makes a difference. I need some more paint. Not much, just a little tiny bit. Okay. Oh, and I didn't shake. Oh, well, I'm sure it's good enough. Okay. So I'm just moving to get a better angle for me and my right-handedness. There. Okay, so I'm not going to touch that anymore. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to put my brush, thing I forgot. So I'm down to the bottom of this, or not the bottom, but the end of this roll of saran wrap, which I have had for years and years and years, because I hardly use plastic wrap. I prefer to use containers that I can clean and reuse. Big surprise, right? So this raggedy end here, I don't know why, but it is goofy. Okay, so I'm wrapping, I have wrapped the brush in saran wrap to keep it from drying out. I've never done that before. It's just I have seen it in videos, and so why not? And I'm gonna do the same. I'm just gonna cover over the lid that I've got here with another piece of saran wrap. This is actually not Saran brand wrap. This is no name wrap, which explains why it's so poor quality. All right. So I'm just going to cover this over and try to keep it airtight to prevent as much as possible it from drying out. So I probably should have cut a bigger piece, but I hate waste. So there we go. All right, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I don't know how many times I watched the movie Babe with my daughter when she was little. Oh my God, we loved that movie. Okay, so let's put this away. Like, I mean, the box that it came in disintegrated years ago. Okay, so let's move on to doing the taping. And for that, I have to pick a color. You know why I don't matte or frame or, you know, do anything fancy with a lot of my diamond paintings? And this is also why I love diamond painting so much. The colors are all there for you. I am not somebody who messes with the colors that come on the legends for a diamond painting. I always use the colors that are there because I don't have a good sense of color. I know what I like, but I don't have a good sense of color. So let's get into this and we'll figure out, well, you'll probably disagree with me and you'll probably be right because my sense of color, not that good. I'm tending toward dark blue. Oops. Or this green. Maybe not that green. Definitely not this green. Definitely not the yellow. I mean, you know, there's terracotta tiles, but nah, not the orange. Not the red. Not that purple. And, I mean, the pink might work because there's pink in the flowers. Maybe the pink would work. We'll see. We'll see, my friends. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try the pink because, like I say, it's a throwaway canvas. So I'm not going to fuss about it. I mean, you might disagree. And if you would choose one of these other two colors, tell me which one. This is number 1. This is number 2. Green, blue. Okay, I'm going with pink. And so, having learned from my first try at this, what I'm going to do is tape this down right away. So I just want to make sure that I know exactly where my edges are, and so that I have a nice straight line. Okay, so, and I'm going to tape this on all 4 sides, because if I cut the masking tape, who cares? Yeah, who cares? All right. Oh, but first, I have to take a picture of the legend. Okay, so to take a picture of the legend, what I do is just hold it up to the video camera, since I don't want to stop and restart the video. And I'll just take a screenshot from the video. All right. Oh, hold on. So I've got it aligned along the bottom. Now I need to align it along the sides. And for that, I'm going to use my trusty ruler so that I know exactly that I'm doing this right. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that goes there. Let's just make sure I've got this properly aligned. I should move it down just a tiny little smidge, but I'm not going to. It's like 0.5 millimeter. I don't think it'll be noticeable. And then I'll just take down the other 2 sides. All right. So for this one, at the widest, or at the narrowest point, okay, so I got like 3.5 centimeters. Wait a minute. No, 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. And 2.5 centimeters. So I can do 2.5 centimeters. I could actually maybe do 3 centimeters. Let's see. And I am loving this because this ruler, because it doesn't have, okay, so you know how a lot of rulers have a little bit at, well, let me show it to you the proper way. You see how the 0 is like 0.5 centimeter in? This one, first off, it's much sturdier. I got it for 99 cents on AliExpress. It's much sturdier, and it starts right at the edge of the ruler. And it's got inches on one side and centimeters on the other, and millimeters on the other. So I think this is going to become my ruler of choice going forward. And I bought 2 of them, so I have lots of metal rulers. Let's see how wide the tape is. That's what I should have done. So the tape is 2.5 centimeters. So we're gonna cut it to 2.5 centimeters. All right, just gonna use a pencil. So let me measure 2.5 centimeters all the way around so that I've got a line for cutting. I'm gonna move that towel because it's in the way. Oh, I like this ruler way better. Oh my goodness. It's been sitting in a drawer because, you know, shortly after I got it, I realized I wasn't going to use it for what I had intended it for. But I like it. So I'm so glad I have it. that I had a chance to use it. Okay, so I now have my guide. And so I'm going to tape my ruler down so that I can use those guides that I just laid down to cut. Oops. There we go. And what I'm going to do this time around, I think, is rotate the cutting board so that I don't have to keep removing it. So the ruler will move, but nothing else will. All right, so I'm ready to cut again. So I got my Fiskars rotary cutter, and I am gonna make my first cut. And again, I'm pressing really hard because when I've been trimming canvases to do framing, I have found that they sometimes are very resistant to trimming. So, all right, there. And like I say, I'm going to rotate the cutting mat instead of repositioning the painting. Okay. And the nice thing about using masking tape is that even if you disagree strongly with my color, and if I decide that was a really bad choice of color, I can just remove the masking tape and put a different color on. So, you know, nobody loses. All right. And this may not be the most efficient way to do these cuts. Maybe you would find a different way, but I now find that I am getting exactly the kind of cut I want, you know, after the first few bits of practice with the blue owl. And this method is working for me mostly. Oh my goodness. Famous last words, right? Okay, there we go. And now the last cut. So let's place this there. Perfect. Well, nothing's perfect, but you know, it's as close as perfect as this girl is ever going to get. And now I just have to make this final cut. And I'm going to be nice and careful because I don't want to screw it up. Okay. And I think that there's just a tiny sliver here that I want to get rid of. There. Okay. That's it. Okay, so I can get rid of all the masking tape now. Don't need it. Now, something else I was thinking of doing lying in bed, you know, as I was planning out this video, was thinking, you know, you could get fancy with this and you could do kind of a double mat. And I might do that. Maybe I'll do that. Because you could take two colors of tape and sort of superimpose one on the other so that, you know, you've got the two butting up against each other. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. I've never used this tape before, so I have no idea what it's actually going to be like. Oh, it's not very sticky. Oh, and it's not very it's not very sticky, and it's not very robust. So I'm not sure I love it. But let's see. So I'm going to be super careful as I'm rolling this out. And bring it right up to the edge of the drills. And this is going to need at least 2 coats of tape. And it's really not sticking very well to the canvas. Yeah, this is more like washi tape. Yeah, this is more like washi tape. It's like a thick washi tape. So what are we going to do, my friends? I know what we're going to do. I know what we're going to do. We are going to use glue. And we're going to glue this tape down. Does that sound stupid? To glue tape down. How ridiculous. And here I have just some Elmer's Extreme school glue. And so that's what I'm going to use because, again, you know, if this doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to smear it on. And then I'll smush it around just with using my fingers. Okay, I don't think we need a ton. And the nice thing about it is that because it's clear, and I'm just going to wipe the board down afterwards, the cutting board. All right, so where's my tape? There it is. So here we have this curly tape. Yeah, no, I'm disappointed with the quality of tape, but I'm not going to let that get me down, my friends. No, 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 no. Okay. Oh, but there's something I want to do first. There is something I want to do first. And that is to use this side to do a cut so that the tape, let's see, so I'm doing this, so I have to cut that way. Okay, so what I want to do is just make sure that I'm cutting the tape so that there is, I placed it wrong. I'm using this sort of protractor thing on the back. I don't know what you call it. But what I want is to make sure that I have a nice cut for the corner. There. So I need one on that side. And I need to measure this so that I know exactly where the next cut will be. Whoops. Okay. So I'm just going to slice this tape here. There we go. And see, I'm learning as I go along. And you can too. I just have to line it up perfectly here. All right. And then I use this to cut that angle. There. Okay. And now, if the universe, except I cut it the wrong way. Oh no. Oh no. I cut it the wrong way. All right. So that piece of tape is no good. Let's try this again. And I want a 45-degree angle. I didn't cut the other side on a 45-degree angle. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm learning as I go along. And so, you know, things won't be necessarily perfect on my first attempt, but they're going to be pretty good. All right, so let me redo this cut so that it's 45 degrees. And the glue is dried, so I have to apply more glue. I need more glue because I need to get the glue right up to the edge of the diamonds, and I need glue that's going to also cover at least the edge here on the outer edge. So if I apply enough here, oh my goodness, it's hard to squeeze it out. Okay, good enough. There we go. So again, I'm just going to smush this, and there we go. That should be enough to hold this down. Again, I need to clean my fingers because I don't want the glue on the outside of the washi tape. And then there we go. There we go. And I'm going to need 2 layers because that washi tape is see-through. So what I should do actually is probably have painted it, but that's not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is apply another layer of tape. So I'm going to do the cuts again. Tape in place. There. Okay. And again, I'm just wiping the nib of the bottle so I don't have some yucky dried glue on there. Okay, and make sure I've got the tape oriented the correct way, and then I take this edge, which is going to be touching the picture, and I place it exactly where I want it, and then the other edge exactly where I want it, and then I flatten this out nicely. There we go. Okay. Very good. So that's it for the pink tape. Now, do I want to use the blue or the blue-green, or do I want to use the dark blue? And like I said, the dark blue will probably look nice. I like the green though. I think the green will look better. Let's see if it's going to be see-through. Oh, I think that's going to be fine. I'll only need 1. All right, so I just had an experience of doing something that was wrong, and so I am not going to show you the wrong way because that's just a waste of your precious time. So I know that this is 2.5 centimeters, that the tape is 2.5 centimeters wide. So what I'm doing is I'm lining this up so that I'm going to lay the green tape down 1 centimeter below the pink tape. There. All right. Where's my cutter? There it is. There we go. And I'm going to miter this angle myself. There we go. And I do the same thing on this side. I'm being very careful not to cut too deep. There we go. Because I don't want to cut the canvas. I just want to cut the tape. So this tape now extends beyond the edge of the painting. And I'm just going to wrap it around. There we go. Now, I'm going to have to secure this with, I'll probably use my real masking tape to secure this on the back here. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing here. There we go. All right, so I'm done with this tape. Fold this under. All right, so now all I have to do is just miter these two corners here. And yeah, I like this technique better than what I was using before. Oops. Not sure I got it all the way. So let's try once more. And I really hope that I'm not sounding like I'm mumbling. There we go. There. Okay. So, I mean, if I wanted to make this perfect, or as perfect as it could be, what I would do is get some polyurethane and seal the top of this. I'm not going to seal the diamond painting itself because I don't think it needs it. And I didn't bother to put white glue. Oops, I forgot to miter this corner. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I did not seal, or I didn't use white glue to stick the green masking tape down, or washi tape, or whatever it is, because I know that the tape sticks to itself, It's just other stuff that it doesn't necessarily stick well to. So now let's get this green background off of it. And there you go. I actually think that looks pretty nice. I mean, it's a super, super simple and cheap framing method. And if I hadn't done it for the first time today, this would take me like a quarter of the time because I had to sort of work out in my head how everything would be done. And it was the first time that I was using the protractor on the cutting board. It's the first time that I've used this to cut, washi tape. Like even this ruler, it was the first time that I used this ruler and realized that it's a better tool for what I needed it for than my ruler that I've been using for the last, ever since I started diamond painting. So, so this is not like a professional looking job, but for a beginner, I'm quite proud of it. I think it looks nice. It sets off the flowers. Now you can argue with me about, what color would be best. And really, if I cared all that much about, if I was ever going to put this up, then I would be much more careful selecting the colors that I use. But I think this is pretty good. Okay, so that is the framing technique using masking tape or washi tape or, whatever. Let's now finish the job on the other diamond painting, the blue owl. And let me just make sure I've got no crap on here. So this has been drying. It is completely dry now. And I'm going to get my stuff out. Yep, still wet. Got my Kleenex here. And the brush. Okay, so let's shake up this paint. So I don't need to shake it for 30 seconds this time, or 30 minutes or 30 minutes, 30 seconds, because it's only been sitting for a little while. All right, so. lesson learned, and that is that I accidentally put one of my painty fingers on the diamond painting itself. So I've done the best I can off camera to wipe off the smudged bit. But my lesson from that is next time what I'm going to do is put a piece of plastic or a piece of paper or wax paper or something like that over top of the image, and then put the masking tape down so that like the wax paper would be just a little bit smaller than the masking tape, so that the masking tape had some drills to stick to, so that I don't accidentally ever have this happen again, where I smudge glue, or where I smudge the trim paint onto the owl itself. It's a beginner mistake. Everybody makes them. So I'm not fussed about it. And that's why I wanted to start this with a diamond painting that I didn't absolutely love. So I'm going to let this dry, and I will come back to you when it's dry, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, everybody, so I've let this sit for, I don't know, probably an hour or so while I did some other stuff. It's dry. It's very dry. Okay, so I can get rid of the cardboard. And now, the next thing I'm going to do is carefully pull off the masking tape. And I'm just doing it slowly so that if by any chance it lifts any diamonds off of my diamond paint. Oops, it lifted a diamond right there. So I'm just going to press it back into place. There we go. Done. It's a stubborn one. All right, hold on here. Let's put that back where it belongs. There we go. All right. Whoop, another one came off. So because over the course of, making this video, I pressed on the diamonds on the masking tape. So, okay. So now here is the owl. Now this is the first time I've done this. I don't know how many times I've said that, but I just want you to know that, like, I'm not pretending to be an expert at this. So one of my viewers sent me this awl in the mail. I think she got it at Joann's. I can't remember. Anyway, there's an email, or there's a letter that she sent me. And so I'm just using the awl, which has a super sharp tip, to help me remove some of the excess paint from the edge of the diamonds. And I'll do this, I'll do this better later, and I'm just wiping it onto the floor because my Roomba will pick it all up for me. Okay, there we go. So I wasn't careful enough not to get paint on some of these edge diamonds. And so the awl I'm just using to try and scrape some of that paint off of the diamonds without scraping it off of the canvas itself, because I want to keep it on the canvas. Okay, so as I continue to work at this, I'm thinking, and you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, wouldn't it have been a good thing if I had thought to watch a YouTube video of somebody else doing this before I tried it? But no, I'm trying it for the first time myself, as if I'm the only person in the whole wide world who has ever thought to paint the edge of a diamond painting to hide the legends and all that stuff. I tell you, sometimes I make life more difficult than it needs to be. But what the heck? It's too late in the day now to try and make a different kind of video or to redo this idea with different stuff. And since I want to have a video tomorrow, this is what you get. Okay, so I've worked at it a little bit, and I think I've got most of it off. Now, after this video is over, I will, finish working at it and get the rest of the paint off of the drills on the edge. But I want to show you what it looks like anyway. And so this could be framed, it could be mounted on some foam core, it could be, whatever the heck you want to do with it, if you want to do something with it. This to me was just a way to test out, painting around the edges of a canvas. So let me show it to you up close. You see those edges, they're not nice. So for a first attempt, I figure it's not like terrible, but it's not great. But I mean, it'll at least give you an idea. And before I try this again, I will most definitely, oh, here's where I touched my paint covered fingers to it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm glad that this was an experimental piece because, I do experiments because I don't know how they're going to turn out. If I knew how they were going to turn out, they wouldn't be experiments. Okay, so this is it. This is the painted framed blue owl. And now I'm going to show you the scenery picture, the beach villas. I think it actually turned out pretty well. Let's get rid of I think it actually, whoops. So I think these turned out pretty well. Let me just adjust this. I'm working backwards and upside down. So what I see in the camera is the exact opposite of what you see. So I think they turned out pretty good. All right. So these are the two finished products. I'm holding the camera as steady as I can, but don't be surprised. Well, I won't be surprised if it's a little shaky. I mean, from a distance, they look okay. Again, I might have chosen different colors for the matting effect for the beach villas. But, for a poor man's mat, that turned out pretty well. And from a distance, the owl actually looks fine. So if that were to be framed or mounted on some foam core or something like that, whether I would probably go with some color of foam core, like maybe the blue or the tan or something like that. Even a brown or something, if you can find it in that color. Black would do too. Yeah, I mean, it's something. It hides the legend and all of the stuff around the edge of the frame. I've done worse. It's not great though. But anyway, I look forward to receiving your comments down below. And I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a few laughs. And I will be making other how-to videos. And I will try to make my future how-to videos be about stuff that I know how to do. Instead of stuff that I have no clue about and I'm stumbling around like a fool trying to figure out on camera. Okay, I love you all. Otherwise, I wouldn't let you see me at my worst like this. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. It'll be an unboxing video. And I hope you come back and join me. Thanks, everybody. To my patrons, thank you so much. You guys are the bomb. And to my subscribers and viewers, you know I love you all. And if you're not a subscriber yet, take a minute. I'll be doing other stuff like this. Hopefully you'll get a kick out of it. And if not, oh well. All right. Bye-bye for now.